Let's spend a second talking about RMTS so we all have some better idea what we actually do. And we're located in Romeoville, Illinois. Been in business about 7 years now. And as you all know me, I'm from Chicago Oil Company for many, many years and started RMTS about 7 years ago. We have 40 employees, 25,000 square foot facility, complete roll forming tryout facility that we can actually take shapes from the invention actually to the final shape, test it, ship the part to you, that type of thing. 6 CNC turning centers, about 75 years of experience with my engineering, myself and the rest of the guys in roll forming and tube and pipe. Finite element analysis is something new that's just been brought in the industry about 10 years ago. We can actually, on the computer, simulate what the roll form shape's going to look like and or what the tube and pipe roll is going to look like. We do a publication, which is the only one in North America that travels throughout the world. Excuse me. Also, home of Super Roll, and we'll talk about that in a second. Specialized CD trainings for the tube and pipe and roll forming business industry that actually explains how to run your tube mills, how to set them up, roll rooms. We'll talk about that in just a second. We have access to 20 years of my personal technical library that I've had for many, many years on any question that might come up, and that's always available. Okay, the tube and pipe industry is, as you know, starting to grow up just a little bit. A lot of things have been changing. This slide just actually depicts that we can actually take the whole RMTS, take it to a foreign country, which we have done, and started a roll facility to actually do your own tube and pipe mill rolls. And we've done several of those so far. The actual reason we started the company was because of Super Roll. Super Roll means that we've created a roll that actually will last longer than any roll out there relative to the D2 high carbonate chrome. We have eliminated the bore wear, the face wear, most of the time the shaft wear, reduced the regrinding cost. Per foot, it should be cheaper to run your tubing and your pipe and your roll forming based on this tooling, and that's the reason why we actually went into this business. The Super Roll is a proprietary material of D2 high carbonate chrome that we have from one of our suppliers in Germany, and that's probably the finest material that you can buy. Our proprietary heat treat is done in such a way, we've got the heat treater together along with the steel supplier, and we've come up with the right analysis to make the D2 high carbon, high chrome longevity longer than anything else. There's absolutely no grinding of the roll. As you can see, everything is done by CNC turning centers. The last thing that we do is we EDM the key, because the key has been the major problem for years, and that's what started the roll face wear, the roll wear, and the shafts, and that type of stuff. Of course, we've done a lot of split and bolted technology, and all this is new technology for the tube and pipe business, and that's what we call Super Roll. As you can see in this slide, we have a complete facility for roll forming, for tryout. We can actually design a piece, take it to the roll former, run it, send you the piece, and at that point you'll be able to put that piece on your tube mill, or put those rolls on your tube mill, and run that piece immediately without waiting to have trials and that type of stuff. We have 2 of those roll formers in our plant at this present time. And we have one that's up to 12 stands. We have one that does 36 stands. So we're pretty versatile. We can pre-notch, post-notch, that type of stuff. So it's running pretty good. The next slide is the RMTS pipeline. RMTS pipeline is a new, brand new publication that's been going on now for almost 2 years, and it's expanded tremendously. And that is just for us tube and pipe people. And most of the time it's 12 pages. It comes out every quarter. And it explains what's happening in the industry and talks about different innovations and who's doing what. And it's a good publication just for us tube and pipe guys. And like I say, it's one of the best ones out there. And it's the only publication for the tube and pipe mill people. We also have a tube and pipe PDA, the only one in the country in this world that we know of. And this is actually a PDA that does all the calculations for strip width, tube weights, horsepower, squares around, pipe sizes, coil weights, gauge to inches, and actually calculates the high frequency kilowatts that you have in your tube mill to determine the speeds that you can run, or it will calculate the speed to the kilowatts that you have in your company. So it's a quite unique little device. Nobody else has one. It's especially built for the tube and pipe industry. They certainly are available, excuse me. This slide just shows we have many testimonials from our customers explaining why they went to RMTS and what it has done for them for over the years. We're the new guys on the block. The finite element analysis is something we spent a minute with already, and that is just an engineering computer, very technical, that actually takes a shape, runs it through the tube mill, simulates it, shows us where the hard spots are or the soft spots are, and for roll forming, it's a tremendous asset for all of us. There's only a couple of us in North America that have it. We happen to be one of them. And what our focus was to the tube, the pipe, and the roll forming was to be able to go in, design these set of rolls, and have it in your plant run first time, every time. And we all know what a problem with that is when it comes to in the roll form. And this finite element analysis will take the piece of strip and divide it into 1,000,000 little different dots, and as it runs through our simulation, we can tell whether it's getting hard and soft or whatever you want. We also manufacture the strip accumulator rolls, and most of us have strip accumulators, and those are big pinch rolls that go in front of it that actually feed the strip. They wear out quite considerably. Along with that, we also do the straightening rolls for most of your straighteners. We manufacture a special apparatus to check the tube mill weld box along with the fin passes, and those gauges are made also by us. This is a new piece of equipment that you haven't seen before. This is called WELDS. This is Welder Enhancement Linear Device System. There's no other one like this one. This has just been invented by myself, and it's only been out a short period of time. It actually allows you now to simulate the weld at the weld box relative to the fin pass, and it has gauges on it, and it keeps it level, because we all know the most important part of high frequency welding is to make sure that the distance from the fin pass to the base and the distance from the weld roll to the base is identical. This just shows you a little bit what it looks like. If you'll notice on the bottom one, it shows you the piece of pipe that actually goes through the fin pass, through the weld rolls, and also through the, as we would call these, the lead rolls. And there's a little a sight gauge there that has tells you whether the pipe is level or not, which is very important, and we'll cover that some more on the high frequency program today. Again, this is brand new. We have it at several customers right now that are doing just a great job. If you have trouble with your welding splits, which we all know you do, this is one of the ways to cut that back tremendously. We also make what we call an EPU weld position stand. This EPU stand is actually a seam guide that actually revolves instead of moving the tube back and forth. It actually acts like a fin pass, and it sits right in front of the weld box. As you can see, this weld box has a 2-roll weld box, which is quite different from everybody out there that has the 3 rolls and everything else. This is the weld box you should be using, as we'll cover today, in the weld box as far as mechanicals are concerned. But this is a brand new item also. But the seam guide is the key here, and as you can see, this slide shows on the right-hand side shows the EPU stand, which is edge presentation unit. And again, I'll spend another second on it because it's very important that it actually is covered with a fin pass just like the one before that, and it turns the tube on a circular motion or holds it dead straight at all times. And if you don't have a seam guide, you need to get one, but that's just one of the products. We'll cover that today also. The CD training program, as you can see, we'll be seeing one today. There's actually 8 other ones, and the first one's identification and purpose of every stand on your mill. This is for a guy who's never seen a tube mill before, and he wants to find out what makes it tick relative to the nomenclature, the terminology, and anything that goes along with it. This is a great first one for the guy. The second one is setup techniques and procedures. We actually went out to a tube mill, and we shot a complete changeover from start to finish. We'll talk through it, explain to you guys how to set it up, what to do and what you can't do physically online in a tube mill. Both these programs run about an hour and a half to hour and 3/4 each. Number 3 is tooling design and considerations for the average tube mill operator, or even the person that you have in charge of your roll shop, if that's what you have. It explains to him exactly what we do. We don't get into too much depth relative to the design criteria, but I tell him the things that I think he should know relative to modified edge form, W form, fin passes, that type of stuff. It's a great little program. Volume number 4, making squares from tubes and rounds. This is a unique program that you would want to have because it explains all the ins and outs from making squares out of rounds, and there's some technology involved relative to corner radiuses, straightening of the tube, marking, diamond shape, flat shape, that type of stuff. So that's a really important one. Number 5 is TIG welding, tungsten inert gas, and that is for the stainless steel people. It covers the whole program from roll design to gas that you use, relative to speeds and that type of stuff. So that's a great program also. Number 6 is comparison of tube welding processes. I actually went through all the tube welding processes, put them together and explained each individual one, from TIG welding, high frequency, low frequency, laser, that type of stuff. And it shows you what application you need for this type of welding. Number 7 is managing your own roll room. We spent some time in talking about how to check your own rolls, make sure they're in the shape they should be in, how to put them in certain categories, and what actually needs to be done in your roll room. Number 8 is operator training for high frequency welding, which you are going to see today. And number 9 is roll management data system, cost tracking per roll. What we actually do with that is we actually give you a computer program that shows you how to track your own footage per each individual roll, keeps cost of the roll, how many times it's been reground, and it puts them in sections that you'll be able to identify either roll as far as inventory is concerned, as far as how much footage is on it, how much do they pay for it, how many times it's been out for regrind, that type of situation. It's really a great program for the people that want to keep track on really what's going on with their rolls. Great roll program. The CD system we just talked about, again, is good for all your good operators, and it's good for the engineers. And it gives you a good basic understanding of really what's happening in high frequency, low frequency, tube, pipe, the whole thing, routine. Again, the last one, which is one I've just put together, which I'm really going to enjoy doing, is the high frequency program, brand new. Nobody else has one. It doesn't cover too much about the current or electricity. It just talks about high frequency welding for the operator, because I believe that's all we need to know. Now, for you to believe everything that I've told you, I think you should have some idea, who I am. And again, I started back in Allied Tubing Conduit in 1963. It's quite a while ago. I'm sure I don't look that old, but believe me, I am. I started out as a labor bundler. I was a cutoff operator. I was still going to school at that point, and went to tube mill operator, recut person, supervisor, and also ended up as a tube mill foreman. I spent 10 years at Allied, then I went to Lamont Engineering Company, presently Turkenhoven Machine Company, and as a young sales engineer who didn't know too much about anything, and boy, they taught me a lot. After that, I went to Atlas Tube up in Canada as a plant manager. I worked for Mr. Zeckelman, Harry Zeckelman's father, and learned a lot at that plant. I went 5 years at that point to Tesco as a partner in Tesco's tube equipment sales company, and we were focused on selling machinery for the tube and pipe mill business, including rolls all over the world. I was vice president in charge of sales for them and also for Rollcraft, and I had 2 years at Sanyoseki. Sanyoseki was a Japanese manufacturer of tooling that wanted to come into North America. So got quite a bit of experience with that. I spent a year at Turkenhoven Machine Company as a sales manager. And then I started a company called Chicago Roll Company in 1985, and then sold it in 1999. So I've actually given 50 seminars, domestic, and 25 foreign, as a guest speaker on pipe mill tooling and training all over the world. I wrote and produced the only tube and pipe mill training programs in existence, which are the volumes we've talked about this morning. I have 20 published papers that I've published throughout the world relative to tube and pipe mill training, rolls and devices, that type of stuff. I actually have 44 years in the business between the engineering and sales, manufacturing. So I picked up a lot of experience. And experience in all the styles of tube relative to pipe, roll forming, high frequency, low frequencies. I've actually went in there and done it myself. And I think the unique ability that I have is that I've been there and I've done that. I think that gives me some background, so you guys understand when I explain something to you, it's coming from where I've been and what I've done. With that, let's get started on this program, and we're going to go slow, and it's going to be fun. And I'm sure at that point we'll all have a better understanding of manufacturing tube and pipe tubing as it needs to be done today.